Thomas lived in a noisy, abrasive village, and he had a habit that was destroying him. He reacted to absolutely everything. Every harsh word, every push in the crowd, every minor slight. If someone spoke roughly to him, Thomas snapped back instantly. This habit came with a hidden cost. Every time Thomas chose anger, the interaction took physical form. A dense stone dropped into the sack on his back, anchoring the memory to his body. Days turned into months, and months into years. He picked up stones of frustration, stones of insult, stones of petty arguments. Without realizing it, his sack grew so dense and heavy that his posture bent, his steps dragged, and his breathing grew shallow. People assumed Thomas was just a bitter man, but he was simply exhausted. He struggled under the cumulative weight of his own reactions, which made the village environment feel far more oppressive than it actually was. Desperate for relief, Thomas finally left the valley. He dragged his swollen bag up a steep, quiet mountain path, hoping the isolation would finally clear his mind. But the change in scenery offered no comfort. The physical weight of his resentments anchored his gaze to the dirt. He couldn't see the pale blue sky or the tall grass swaying in the wind. The load drained the color and life from the landscape. In trying to defend himself by fighting back at every minor slight, Thomas had accidentally suffocated his own spirit. High on the ridge, the mountain quiet was broken by the sound of someone humming. An old merchant was walking up the exact same difficult incline. Thomas was gasping for air, his shoulders dug deep with rope burns. The merchant, carrying his own small bundle, stepped lightly. He wore a soft smile, unburdened by the steep climb. Suddenly, a loose branch snapped from a dead tree above, tumbling down and striking both men on the shoulders before clattering onto the dirt road. Thomas instantly tensed, cursing the tree as a new stone formed in his sack. The merchant simply dusted off his coat and kept walking. The exact same reality punished one man while leaving the other untouched. The merchant had felt the branch, but he gave it no further energy. He let the event end the moment the wood hit the ground, demonstrating the power of choosing to move on. Noticing Thomas's struggle, the old man paused, eyeing the bulging sack. He asked Thomas why he insisted on carrying a collection of sharp stones when they caused him so much agony. To understand the merchant's logic, we must separate the external action from the internal reaction. An external action, an insult, a rude comment, or a snapping branch, happens and it ends. But replaying an insult or feeling your heart rate rise over a past argument is a separate mechanism. The initial event is over. The extended suffering comes from the internal choice to keep the memory active. The person who caused the initial event has already walked away. Meanwhile, the person who reacts remains anchored to that moment, trapped under the weight of an active memory. While others may throw the stones, the burden of carrying them forward resides with us. Thomas realized he could simply stop holding what others had dropped. For years, Thomas had been collecting stones that did not belong to him. He was doing the work of his enemies, carrying their bitterness on his own back. His hands shaking, he reached into the bag and pulled out a jagged memory. The moment it hit the dirt, a tight pressure released from his chest, and he drew a full breath. One by one, he emptied the bag. He left decades of slights and old anger scattered on the mountain path. As the weight disappeared, his shoulders rose. He looked up and saw the vivid green of the leaves and the brilliant blue of the sky. Stepping away from an argument preserves your energy. By refusing to react, Thomas reclaimed the power to choose his own emotional state. You can apply this same release tonight. Before you go to sleep, sit in a quiet room for exactly 1 minute. Review the conflicts of your day. Find one lingering frustration, a rude email, a moment of shame, or a minor argument. Picture it as a stone in your hand. Tell yourself that this stone belongs to yesterday, and mentally place it on the ground. Doing this every night builds a firewall against emotional hoarding. Your resilience grows. You wake up with a clearer mind, moving through your week with an easier step. You cannot dictate how the world will treat you tomorrow, but peace is found in mastering the absolute, quiet power of your own reaction.